Hello everybody and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I am playing Scrum Mechanic. Again. Anyway, in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to build a hovercraft because I've looked on the internet and apparently a lot of people don't know the particular way to build one. I'm sure you can find a particular tutorial on how to build a hovercraft, but today I'm going to give you a simple demonstration on how to build one. Very easily done and simple. I tried building one previously, but I went too much for the aesthetic appeal of the creation, so I decided for this video, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to build a proper thing so that it can actually just be visibly shown on how it can be made. And also, it won't take so long to record. So that's what I'm going to do. First of all, we're going to just put a base down because we need a base for our creation. What I might do, let's do that, make sure it's centered. Just for a demonstration, of course, I'm just going to get a seat. We might need a seat that's not centered. We'll need a saddle. We'll need a seat that is centered. Cool, so that's our seat. We're just going to apply suspension glitch so that it can turn. All the basic stuff. Let's get some suspension. There we go. Connect it. There we go. And connect it to the seat. And now we can turn. There we go. Look how lovely that is. Great. Cool. So, now that it can turn, we have to apply its main ability to fly. So, what we're going to do is we're going to get ourselves a nice pillar. I'm a little bit sick, so, I'm sure I've told you guys this already in my recent videos. But, yeah, I'm a little bit under the weather, so I might sound a bit like sick. So, I'm just going to add the main thrusters right here. These thrusters allow to not fly, it only allows it to just be at zero weight, meaning that it pretty much has no ability to go up nor down, it's just point at where it is. Obviously that isn't very easily achievable in Scrum Mechanic. I'm trying to get it to as close as I possibly can, but yeah, that's that. I could show you an example later on, but yeah, that's the what I have here. A little thruster setup. Let's get ourselves a switch. Let me just make this look even. Let's get a switch out. There we go. Alright, so let's get the switch. And let's hook it up to the thrusters. Cool beans. Now, if we give these things just a little bit of thrust, these are level 5s. Alright, so it should be well and truly able to float. Alright, there we go. So now we just need to decrease that just a little bit. Let's go to 2 and test if it still flies at 2. Wow. If we add just a little bit of extra weight in the back, so metal. Metal isn't too heavy, nor is it too, well, it is pretty heavy, but it isn't as heavy as concrete. So we're just going to use that just so that... That is pretty much what I am. That's pretty much good. It's barely hovering. Alright, there we go. So, that's what we wanted. Now we have to make it so that it not only stabilizes, but hovers. I'm just going to show you an example of a creation that I made that hovers. Here we go. So this is my hovercraft. As you can see, it hovers really well. If you get really skilled at Scrum Mechanic, you can build things like these. It does hover on the spot depending on what kind of surface you're on. So I'm on a flat surface right now, so it's a bit easy. It's able to hover. But if I go onto an angle like this, obviously it doesn't. Well, it did kind of stabilize. But yeah, as you can see, it hovers. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I've made it so that it's drivable as well. And yeah. I also made it so that it flies up. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, it's a hovercraft. So that's one thing that I'm hoping that you guys can be able to achieve after watching this video. Maybe not like this level of achievement. You might have to look at a bunch of videos just to figure out how to make one of those, like, you know, how to make it better. Like, I'm just showing you the basic steps. So you need your main thrusters. These thrusters can't make it completely fly up. It just has to stabilize. So that's that. Okay, let's get some proper thrusters in here now. These ones will be the ones that will make it propel off the ground. First of all, you might need to make it a little bit higher. Let's get ourselves a bit of suspension. Now, suspension! Suspension's really good for this sort of thing. You need suspension because suspension allows for the thing to dampen the amount of like change that happens when you're going over a terrain. So say you say the sensor instantly flicks on this. So I'm gonna put a sensor on this thing to detect the ground. So if it's if it gets too close to the ground like that, it will activate the thruster with the sensor, and then it will go off the ground. And this allows it to hover, because if it goes up high enough when the thrusters are engaged, it will eventually come down when the sensors stop working. That's why we have these thrusters that allow it to support the weight of the craft, but not let it take off the ground completely. So that's why now I'm adding the thrusters that allow it to go up the ground, but will only work when it is close to the ground. So in theory, you could make this thing fly, and I'm going to demonstrate how to make it fly. So let's get this thruster system up. Did I make these close to the edge? No, I only made them one away from the edge. Alright, cool. Yeah, so that's basically, this is a simple, I'm trying to make this a simple tutorial on how to make a hovercraft. But yeah, that's that. Hopefully I can make this work for you guys. You might have to balance out a few things if you want to make this thing look aesthetically pleasing to an audience. Say if you're trying to make a hovercraft in a YouTube video or something like that. You want to make it look good. This is just an example. You can make this a lot better, like what I just did, like with that. I say like a lot, but yeah, that's the basic idea. So now what I want to do is I want to get myself a logic block. Now, everyone thinks that logic blocks are a bit of a difficulty in Scrum Mechanic. I do find them difficult in large numbers. So like say you have like 60 logic blocks placed down, I don't understand it. It's just too complicated for me. But when it's given to like a simple example, it gets a lot easier to understand. So what I want is I just want two ways of making this thing work. So in some cases you might want to fly out of an area. I'm just going to put that switch there because I just need it in an even surface so that it's balanced in all directions. But I'm going to connect that switch to all of switch 1 so that this can work properly. So let's do that. Now, this is what I want to do. So let's get a sensor out of here. Let's rise it up first of all. We want it to detect the surface of the ground. So I'm going to build a thing right here. Let's build that down like that. Just put it down. Oop. Don't want it like that. Okay, so now we'll get a sensor. Put it down. There we go. And then we'll connect the sensor to the logic gate as well. Now, these are 2 activation sources, and they will activate the logic block. Now, I want the logic block to be set as OR, an OR gate. That means that either one of the activation switches will trigger the thrusters. So, say I go near the sensor. If I activate the sensor, it's going to trigger this gate, because the gate is being triggered by this sensor. Now, if say I have another activation trigger, so this switch right here, it's also connected to the gate. If I were to say switch it to an AND gate, that means that it would just mean that it will have to have both of these triggers activated. So we'll have to have number 2 and this sensor triggered at the same time in order for this thruster to work. But what I want is this to be an OR gate, because either one of these triggers can be activated in order for it to fly or hover. I'm just trying to get this one, making sure. I think I've got all of them, haven't I? Yeah, alright, so now that I've got that, I want to set the range to around 7. It doesn't really matter. You can obviously tweak it. I might tweak it. I haven't fully made this thing hover yet. But, so now what I'm going to do is connect the gates to these thrusters. And as you can see, it's starting to work. And if I add that, there we go. We got ourselves a hovercraft. It's stabilizing, as you can see. It doesn't go forward, but it can rotate, self-correct. So that's your hovercraft. If we want it to work, then let's add some other stuff. But if we want it to fly, now this is what I've added. The logic block is I can press 2 now, and it will start hovering up. But now that it's lost its ability to sense the ground, it can't really fly properly because it's not stabilizing. So that's probably an unnecessary trait. So let's add ourselves these thrusters. I might put this on a lift so that it stops moving around. But we need the thrusters here now. Wow. There we go. So now we can stop hearing that noise. Let's add the thrusters. These are just to make it go forward. We won't make it go backwards because obviously that's just overcomplicating things. We just want it to be simple and easy to use. Now remember, you might want to use, like, some of you might think, oh, I'm just going to use low tier thrusters just in case, you know, but just remember that each grade of thrusters gets lighter and lighter. So if you have thrusters like these are really heavy. These ones, fortunately, are a lot lighter, but now I'm hoping it will fly. I might have to increase the strength of these front ones here so that it can fly, because I've added 2 other thrusters to make it go forward. Maybe that was a bit too much strength. What I might do... Actually, no. I'll keep the strength, but I'll add some weight to the front. That way, it becomes much more manageable. Let's add just a bit more. I might get concrete out instead. Let's get the heaviest concrete that there is. Let's just get 2 of those. Maybe a bit too much. Just decrease that a little bit. There we go! Now it works. Let's go forward, shall we? You might want to increase the thrust just a little bit more. I wonder how unstable it will be if I do that. Never mind. Do that. There we go. So let's increase the speed of these thrusters, of course, because we want to fly around. These thrusters, since they're a little bit high up, they're not level with the thing. They're going to make it go more... It's going to change the angle of the thing, and so it's just going to self-correct. But as you can see, it sort of hovers. It might freak out. This is only a basic model, but you get the idea. And that's why I made my previous one have wheels on it, so that it can drive around just in case you need to self-correct it. But yeah, it hovers. You can see it sort of self-corrects. But yeah, that's the hovercraft, and you can make it look better. You can make it look more snazzy in design. But I'll give you some other examples of hovercrafts that I made. I might delete this because I've got better hovercrafts, but you know, it's saved in this video, so it's not going to exist anymore, but it's there. But this is the normal hovercraft that you will see. It's got the same kind of design, like sort of aspect to it, but this time it's got wheels that make it drive around a lot easier, much more easier, so that just in case you want to ramp up the speed and then hover. If you're dealt with like jumping off a cliff with this thing, it will fall down at an accelerating rate because it's lost its main thrust. But I've designed it the same way as the other one, so that it will go up by the thrusters that are like with the logic blocks. So that's that. I'll show you just one more creation that I made. Whee! Alright, there we go. This is one that I made. It's DeLorean. I made it look like that because I love the Back to the Future movie. But as you can see, it drives as well. It's got modded parts. I'm on a modded world just because I can. A bit of fallen tree there. Alright, and now we can hover. It's very simple, it doesn't go very fast, and obviously it rocks a lot more than the previous one that I just showed you. But as you can see, it gets faster and faster by time. And it can be angled by the door coming out and all that. But then you can drop it down. I find that the suspension is a bit clunky, so it freaks out and falls over. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you figure out how to build a hovercraft in Scrum Mechanic. Hope you guys enjoyed, and please make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so that you can support the channel. And if you guys like what I do on Scrum Mechanic and want me to show you more tutorials on how to do stuff like build hovercrafts or anything like that, then please let me know in the comments. If you have any issues on Scrum Mechanic, like you have a struggle with some sort of physics issue, then please let me know, and I'll try and help you as much as I can. Anyway, hope you guys enjoy this video. This is Davidius, out.